Stoic warriors. We live in a world where men scramble to prove their worth. They fight to be right. They strive to be seen. They explain. Over-explain. Und be for validation. But a true Stoic stands apart. He doesn't chase attention. He doesn't crave approval. A Stoic doesn't waste words defending himself to a world that demands explanations, for he knows silence is his greatest weapon. Most men, when hurt, rejected, or misunderstood, rush to fix it with words, explaining to those who choose not to listen. That's weakness disguised as courage. You call someone, but they don't pick up. You text again. You pour your heart into a long message, hoping they'll see your value. But the truth is, the more you explain, the more you beg, the more power you surrender. That's not the Stoic way. Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus mastered the art of silence. Rise above the noise. Brothers, a Stoic doesn't chase what he cannot control, for he knows clinging to external validation only weakens his grip on himself. Epictetus taught us chasing attention or begging for understanding hands your power to others. You're saying your peace depends on their response. That's not freedom, it's a cage. True strength is walking away from disrespect without a word, not out of pride, but because your dignity doesn't need to shout, chase, or explain. It stands firm in silence. This silence isn't emptiness, it's discipline, self-respect, the inner strength that declares, I don't need your validation to know my worth. That silence unnerves others, for when you don't react, they lose the control they thought they had over you. Today, we'll uncover the power of silence not as weakness, but as a force that commands respect. Silence makes others question what's changed. Silence lets your absence speak louder than any message. We'll explore 6 profound truths, 6 reasons why silence is a Stoic superpower and why he never chases, begs, or explains himself. If you're tired of giving too much, if you've been misunderstood, if you've chased those who walked away, now is the time to transform. Let this message awaken the strength you didn't know you needed. Before we dive into the first truth, hit the like button if this resonates with your soul. Share your thoughts and affirmations in the comments as we journey forward. Spread this video to someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe for more Stoic wisdom. Most importantly, don't skip a single part. Each truth could shift how you live forever. Leave this affirmation in the comments. My silence is my strength. Forge, your inner fortress. Men, silence makes others feel your absence, not just hear your words. Have you noticed this paradox? When you stop explaining, stop chasing, people start to reflect. Silence doesn't push them away, it draws them in. Think back to the last time you were hurt. Perhaps someone ignored you, disrespected you, or dismissed you. Your instinct screamed to speak up, to fight back, to defend your worth. But here's the truth. The more you talk, the less they hear. The more you chase, the further they run. The more you explain, the less they value your words. But when you hold your silence, they suddenly feel your absence more than your presence ever could. Those who can't grasp your silence likely won't value your words. Elbert Hubbard said it best. Stoics knew this centuries ago. Silence unsettles others in ways noise never can. When you stay silent before those expecting you to beg, when you withdraw instead of react, you force them to face something deeper, their own actions. Silence is a mirror that reflects truth. It declares, I see how you treat me. I feel your disrespect. But I value myself too much to explain it to you. This silence doesn't come from ego. It comes from clarity. You realize if they cared, they'd ask. If they respected you, they'd reach out. If they were emotionally mature, they wouldn't need a speech to see your worth. So, you stay silent. Stand tall in that silence. Brothers, you reclaim every ounce of power you once gave away. You stop wasting energy on those who don't even understand themselves. You cease trying to heal through words. For some wounds only mend in silence. Yes, it stings. Your silence will provoke them, unsettle them. They'll wonder, why isn't he reacting? Why isn't he responding? Has he stopped caring? That's when the power shifts. Because silence speaks an undeniable truth. You owe them no explanation. No more. Number 2, when you embrace silence, you hear the truth with unshakable clarity. The world is loud, but silence lets you listen not to others, but to your own soul. In moments of heartbreak, betrayal, or confusion, most men run to others for advice, validation, or a quick emotional fix. They call friends, scroll endlessly online, or confront those who hurt them, hoping a conversation will heal the wound. But a Stoic chooses a different path. He stays silent, not because he doesn't feel the pain, but because he knows true answers don't come from noise, but from reflection. If you're pained by external things, it's not they that disturb you, but your judgment of them, and it's in your power to change that judgment. Marcus Aurelius. When you embrace silence, your mind finds stillness, and in that stillness, truth emerges. You hear revelations like, they never truly respected me. I just didn't want to admit it. I'm not angry they left. I'm angry I stayed too long. I don't need closure. I need peace. These truths don't come from texts or talks. They come in quiet moments when you stop explaining and start listening. Silence carves out space to separate your emotions from your worth. When you're hurt, your feelings scream for you to chase, to explain, to prove your value. But in silence, your worth whispers, guard your dignity, protect your peace, let go. That's why Stoic philosophers never rushed to react or decided in anger. Command your inner strength. Men, Stoics, embrace a sacred pause, a moment of stillness before the storm. Society tells you to speak your mind, to vent your emotions, to never let anyone disrespect you. But true respect isn't won by shouting louder. It's earned by staying calm and silent when chaos surrounds you. You don't need to ask if they care, their actions answer. You don't need to beg for clarity. The truth reveals itself in your silence. Most importantly, you stop reacting from emotion and start responding with will. Silence isn't passive. It's focused, intentional. The gateway to inner wisdom few dare to cross. When confusion or overwhelm clouds your mind, don't rush to act. Embrace silence. The answers you seek aren't out there, they're within you, waiting to be heard in stillness. Number 3, begging for closure betrays your own strength. Let's face a hard truth most men avoid. Seeking closure often brings more pain than peace. Every man craves it, that final explanation, that honest talk, that perfect ending. But the brutal truth is, if someone truly valued you, You wouldn't need to beg for closure. They'd offer it with respect. Your silence becomes the closure you need. Don't explain your philosophy. Embody it. Epictetus. This may seem unrelated at first, but it means when you stop chasing closure and start living your values, you no longer need others to validate your pain. The hurt is real, but needing their explanation for why they hurt you hands them control over your healing. Here's the cycle. First, they hurt you. Second, you demand answers. Third, they respond with coldness or avoidance. Fourth, you feel worse. And the loop repeats until you realize closure isn't something they give. It's something you grant yourself when you choose silence and walk away. Rise above the urge. Brothers, you convince yourself, if I just share my feelings, if I just explain my side, one last talk will fix it. But in reality, you're pleading with someone at peace with hurting you. You're explaining to someone who's already made their choice. You're wasting energy hoping they'll mend your broken expectations. That's not closure, it's self-abandonment. Stoic philosophers knew emotions can cloud judgment, especially when ego steps in. You want to be seen as good, understood, for them to finally get you, but chasing that betrays your growth. True closure is realizing they've given all they can. Stand firm in this truth. Men, accept that no explanation will make them respect, love, or be more honest. Stop waiting for a conversation that'll never come. In that acceptance, your power returns. Those who hurt you don't need to see your worth, you do. Those who leave don't need a goodbye. You can say it without words. Those who vanish don't deserve a second chance. Your silence is your answer. Don't draft letters. Don't rehearse perfect texts. Don't chase closure from those who were never open to begin with. Embrace silence. Let it be the space where your self-respect breathes again. Number 4. Silence exposes what words try to hide. When you hold your silence, something powerful happens. Masks fall. Words can be beautiful, but they can also lie. People say what sounds right, what they think you want to hear, offering explanations, excuses, apologies. But silence cannot deceive. What you do speaks so loudly, I cannot hear what you say. Ralph Waldo Emerson. Stoics understood this deeply. They judged others not by apologies, but by consistent actions. The best way to see someone's true habits is to stop talking and observe. Silence isn't passive, it's vigilant. When you stop explaining yourself, you create space for others to reveal their true nature. Trust me, they will. Those who respect you will feel your presence and approach with sincerity. Those who used you will vanish, as they never valued you. Those who manipulated you will grow angry or confused, not because you're wrong, but because they've lost control. Most men don't realize words can create illusions. Bu silence. Invase. Reality. You don't need to confront or challenge them. Withdraw your words and watch. See who checks in when you're silent. See who disappears when you stop giving. Anchor yourself in this truth. Brothers, notice who gets upset when they can't provoke a reaction from you. That's the raw truth. Sometimes harsh, but necessary. Silence can wound deeper than 1,000 confrontations. They can ignore your words, but they can't ignore your absence. They can argue your point, but not your silence. When you hold your silence, you stop fueling their illusions. You exit their emotional games. You stop pretending their words outweigh their actions. This silence brings you clarity. You no longer need their explanations for why they treated you poorly. Silence, distance, and their actions say it all. You start trusting patterns over promises. You value energy over excuses. You honor what's real, not what's said. That's the Stoic spirit, not cold, but discerning, not distant, but awake, not unfeeling, but emotionally disciplined. Next time someone tries to talk their way back into your life, don't rush to respond. Observe. Hold your silence and let the truth speak without a single word. Number 5, refusing to explain is the ultimate mark of confidence. Let's be real when someone misunderstands you. It cuts deep. You want to defend yourself. Explain why you're not what they think. You want to say, "That's not me." But a Stoic doesn't chase others' understanding. He seeks clarity within himself. Why? Because explaining yourself to those with fixed judgments isn't confidence, it's fear of being misjudged. Don't waste the rest of your time guessing about others unless it's for the common good. Marcus Aurelius. Claim your power. Men, every time you try to convince someone of your worth, kindness, or loyalty, you're burning precious time and energy on their judgment. That's not strength, it's insecurity. The man who doesn't explain isn't arrogant. He's at peace, knowing his intentions are clear, his actions are consistent. His value doesn't need defending to those unwilling to see it. This release isn't easy. You'll be called cold. You'll be labeled selfish. You may lose people once close. But know this, losing those who never truly saw you isn't loss, it's alignment. Here's a truth few dare to face. Most people don't want to understand you. They want to control how you're perceived. If your silence shatters that illusion, they'll get angry. Not because you hurt them, but because you stopped playing their game. When you stop explaining, you lead with energy. You stop justifying your distance. You stop explaining why you walked away. You stop defending your peace. You simply act. Those who belong in your life will understand your silence without needing words. This rare energy unsettles manipulators, repels users, and earns respect from those who stay. Master this Stoic silence. Brothers, not loud, not disparity, not dramatic, but calm, grounded, unshakable. You owe no one an explanation for choosing peace. You don't need to convince anyone your boundaries are valid. Your silence speaks your worth louder than any room ever could. There's unmatched power in a man who walks away not in anger, not in theatrics, but in quiet release. You don't slam doors. You don't send final emotional messages. You simply depart. In that silence, you teach a lesson words could never convey. We suffer more in imagination than in reality. Seneca. This reminds us that true pain begins when your mind replays the silence. When you stop responding, they're left with their thoughts, their guilt, the echo of how you treated them, the weight of your absence. Your release says, "I no longer need to prove myself to you." Forge this resolve. Men, your absence declares, "I won't linger where I'm not respected. My peace is worth more than any relationship." Most people can't handle this energy. They expect reactions, pleas, or fights for closure. But your silence ends their emotional game. You walk away with dignity, and your silence forces them to face themselves. They expect you to chase, to fight, to return. They expect you to beg, but you don't. That terrifies them more than any argument, because they realize they no longer hold your energy. They lose their advantage. They didn't think you'd truly leave. That's when the lesson begins. People don't learn from words, they learn from distance. They don't change when you shout, "Respect me." They change, if at all, when your absence makes them feel what they've lost. Rise to this truth. Brothers, if they don't change, that's fine. The lesson is yours. You've learned peace doesn't need permission. You've realized not everyone deserves your explanation. You've discovered silence isn't just strength, it's healing. Silence frees you from toxic cycles. You stop bleeding for those who can't see your pain. You stop explaining storms to those who live in calm. Detaching doesn't mean you don't care. It means you care enough about your soul to not keep it in a place of neglect. That's why Stoics don't rush to react or seek validation. They don't chase justice or approval. They let silence speak. You don't need to shout, "I'm done." You simply end it. That's true power, the kind of silence that makes those who thought they controlled you tremble, stand tall, and detach. Let them sit in the space where your voice once was. Feel this shift within you. Brothers, a quiet awakening. A truth you've always known, but may have buried. You don't need to chase it, beg, or explain to be worthy. You don't need to be loud to be heard. You don't need to prove yourself to be understood. Your peace is yours to protect. This is the Stoic foundation, not coldness, but clarity, not detachment from love, but from chaos. Stoics teach us a powerful truth. Silence isn't weakness, it's mastery. It's refusing to waste energy on what's beneath you. It's the confidence of knowing your presence holds value, even in absence, in moments when emotions urge you to explain, to fight, to prove. Pause and remember this. Your silence may not win arguments, but it reclaims your soul. Each time you choose not to react, you build inner peace. Each quiet withdrawal strengthens your worth. Each stand in dignity forges unshakable power. Carry this truth. Men, let silence be your final word, not from ego or spite, but from deep, unyielding self-respect. Your silence speaks louder than any outburst, carries more weight than any explanation, and builds a fortress no one can breach. Stand firm in it. Thank you for walking this path. If this stirred your soul, hit like now. Share it with a brother ready to grow. Drop your affirmations below. Your voice matters here. Subscribe for weekly Stoic truths. Leave this final affirmation. My silence is my final, most powerful word.